Obviously, I'm gonna have a cough during the whole show. Who has the Sherry switches on their keyboard? Oh, you guys don't
I
even
don't
know
even
what
know
that
what
is.
that is.
Oh,
It's like the
wow.
mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, mechanical keyboard with cherry
I
switches.
have one, but I'm
or
not
or do you
driving
use
it.
the other kind? Do you use the brown ones?
Are we starting or are we talking?
Yeah, we're live definitely, but we haven't started yet. Like we're live, but I haven't kicked it. Like we haven't played the song yet. People can hear this.
Well, there's no push to talk option in Skype, so
Nope.
I can't like.
Oh, it's okay.
No, it's
Here,
fine.
Let me type. Is it me?
Yes.
Yes,
it
it's
is
you.
But it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's type in Quincy. Oh shit, I already gave that away. Okay, let's just start the show. Everybody be quiet. Let's play the song. And welcome to third reoccurring episode of the Kappa Council. Here with me today, JoyfulRogue, GreatOldOne, KC4, as always. And as always, for the third time, we have a guest on the show. Today it's Quincy No Cam Jones.
Confusion? That's not like a mechanic. Why do I?
Oh yeah, that's a new.
Oh, you
it's
have adapted my confusion
yeah.
from the stream before.
Oh,
You've
I'm
inherited
aquatic
the
right now.
confusion. I am now
Nice.
charged.
Yeah, a week ago I was so confused.
A week ago. Awesome. Well, welcome. Let's do the introductions here then. Let's today start with Quincy Jones. Then, tell people who you are, where they can find you.
Yeah. Hi. I'm Quincy. I stream Faeria quite a lot. I was in the top 10 for a while, and now kind of derping around and losing. Here, I'll link my stream in the chat.
And next to him we have
Oh,
JoyfulRogue.
and-
No? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm the best player in the world. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, okay. Good to have this in. All right, so basically, sometimes you watch horror movies when people like turn into monsters or something. You know, I'm witnessing a transformation here. In the first Kappa Council, I introduced myself as a Faeria streamer. Second Kappa Council, I talked about occasionally playing other games. Right now, if I introduce myself as a Faeria streamer, I would kind of feel guilty about it.
Yeah, you're not really.
I'm kind of obsessed about XCOM right now, but still keeping an eye on Faeria. And you can find me on Twitch TV/JoyfulRogue streaming every day.
Can we do Defector 4 on his card?
Sometimes, like yesterday, I streamed a couple of games with Jim on the Skype. It was really fun.
That was fun. I watched
Awesome.
Nice.
Next to him we have GreatOldOne, the aquatic.
Yeah, so well, I haven't played Feria for like a few days, but I usually play like top 10, top 20 level, and I guess I watch a lot of streams. I started playing a bit of Hearthstone lately.
Oh.
Just to try it out.
That's what they all say.
And you found out it was terrible.
You know, the
Constructed-
Just kidding,
Constructed
just
is
kidding.
terrible.
first
Constructed
injection
is
is free.
Yeah, I mean, Constructed is really bad, but Arena is kind of fun.
True.
Nice, nice. K-Civ has moved up in the corner.
Yes, I'm now part of the top members.
The top
I'm in the
members.
special place now. But I stream at KCIV4, link in chat. I recently just broke top 200, and I'm so excited about that. So I stream, I have fun, we have a good time in my chat. I've actually been learning a lot recently. I went from like like top 800 to 200, and I've been sitting there quite happily, working my way higher. So I've been learning. I've been getting better. So if you want to come and pour some salt on my plays, that's more than welcome.
Nice. Awesome. I'm just opening the our Google Doc here, putting it in a good spot where I can see it all times. We have, as always, more topics than we can fit. I mean, yeah, there's quite a few good ones. Obviously, we're gonna talk a little bit about tournaments. I really want to cover some achievement stuff. We're gonna also try and fit in our new thing called Check My Deck, and end with a special thing we'll introduce to you later, which will be, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway. Achievements. I want to do achievements. Like, I want to talk about that a little bit. As that feels like a really easy way to start the show. Like, you know, there's not that many achievements right now. Like, what do you guys think they can do to improve that experience? Like, do you have ideas for achievements right now that you feel that they could add? Like, how far do you want them to go with the achievements? Like, how crazy do you want them to go? We could start with Joyful here. Hopefully he has some good ideas.
I've been thinking about achievements a lot when I first started playing Faeria, because after that I just got them and I don't care anymore. But I think the biggest problem with achievements is how contrived they feel. They don't emerge, usually they don't emerge from good games and good gameplay. And the best way to get them is just like do this artificial thing with your body that you manage to meet on the ladder. I think the fix for achievement, the solution to the achievement being so contrived and artificial would be to find such achievements that actually emerge from good gameplay and some really good moments of the games, rather than just making something that can be artificially earned and should be in an optimally just artificially earned, but I have no idea how to do that, which achievements would actually work.
Yeah, as of right now, they're not feasible. None of them, like almost none of them are like, yeah, feasible to get in a normal game. You pretty much just have to ask your opponent, like, can I get the achievements? I'll surrender at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I literally had to do that to get the land one. I was like, can we please just not kill me and get the land?
I was winning a game against Fatty XL, who I've been facing on the random queue quite a lot when I play when there's like 20 players online. And I mean, so we've been facing each other a few times. So it's like, oh, hey again. And I was totally winning. Like, he was down to like 1 hit point, where when I realized, oh, there's just 3 more hexes left. And I'm like, dude, I just need this achievement. Like, dude, please, don't surrender, please. Like, just. And he's like, hurry the fuck up. You know?
And, but I've never really been one for achievements, though. Like,
well, I wanted the Memoria.
Like, play a green creature, play a yellow creature, play a red structure. It's just like kind of pointless.
You just played your first red structure. There you go. And it should be that voice too.
There should be an achievement that gives you like negative 10,000 Memoria. That is play 100 Disruptors.
See, I can see like achievements like how many games you've played, like play 200 games, win 300 games, like stuff like that. I think those achievements are cool because they show like progression in the game and whatnot. I like those. I just think gimmicky ones are weird. Like play 4 lands without changing a type. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I think they should have these like achievements, which is more like a reward for being like a long time player or like they should just up until like an insane amount. And I'm talking about like, oh, like for your 100 win. Boom, there you go. Like for your 250th win, boom, there you go. Because that also encourages you to actually play and try to win, right? And it's like something you get along the way for just being there and playing, right? Like, oh, you know, and the Memoria could be quite big. Like if you get to like 500 win, you get like, here's 10,000 Memoria, which is 10 legendaries, obviously. But I mean, once you're at 500 wins, you're pretty invested in the game. I feel that's, you know, those type of achievements is like, I think should be in the game for insane, like, oh, here's your 10,000 win, here you get no, maybe not, but something like that.
Yes, not only that,
a million.
If they're gonna keep the achievements as contrived as they are right now, they should at least make it like so you can get earn them in unranked, so you and your friends can just
grind them.
Yeah, get them all.
Might as well.
I could agree with that because it's I can.
But
that would be a good.
I agree with what everyone said, so I have nothing to add.
You guys on the chat out there, do you have any ideas for how to make the achievements more natural to earn rather than just artificial? If someone on the chat has an idea, I would love to see it, and I'm gonna be keeping an eye on the chat, and I guess we can move on with the topic. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just like the way Counter-Strike does it. Counter-Strike does it, win 250 pistol rounds, kill someone with this gun 4,000 times, and I think that kind of achievement system works well with a game like Faeria. It's like, win this many games, do this much.
Build 1,000 forests.
yeah, that'd be fun. Build 1,000.
I like that. Yes, I like that actually.
Yeah.
But that comes into, can the game collect that data? Is the code set up to calculate per game? How many forests you created, save that, and then represent that in the achievement. So I think that's a lot of work, but
or maybe not.
I think.
But yeah, well, yeah, it's a lot of data.
It's beta.
Yeah.
No, well, as long as we get an achievement that says we were beta testers, I'm okay.
Yeah.
The reason I like the achievements as they currently are now, Azzy, just to respond to your question about why they're even in the game, is because they're a very nice boost for a new player.
Definitely. There are a few easy ones to get.
Yeah.
A few is easy to get.
It's nice.
I love the idea of karma achievements that give you negative memoria.
Karma achievements.
Just like
you one-shot your opponent minus 500 points.
Loving it. I want that in.
There we go. That's how you balance combo decks. You just make sure they never do it. No, it gives you a negative modifier on your orb. If you one-shot your opponent, the next game you play, you only have 10 orb life.
What the hell? Wow. Jesus
That's
Christ.
too funny.
Oh my god. Okay, that was achievements. The next topic is the stream lagging. Every time someone's like, oh, it's like, okay, let me tell you, we're down to 1800 now. And I did check all the Twitch servers, at least in Europe, before going live really closely. And I can tell you, they are very, very loaded. Isn't there still like a BlizzCon thing going on?
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Damn.
I mean, come on, like, yeah, it's
all good.
It's what it is, right? Like,
1800's good.
It's an old topic now. I think we found our mark though. If we're lucky, there will never ever again on a weekend be a big event in a game ever, right? That will never happen.
A lot of people are saying no lag, so it's good.
I'm always lagging, and it's
You're always
now
lagging.
now it's kind of good. I mean, it lags like every few minutes, for a second.
Anyway, I guess we're done with achievements, and we're done with that. Awesome. Buddy buddy boom. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's do the tournament thing. It's really going on right now. Where are they in the tournament? Like, do we know?
I believe they are still in the losers semifinals.
Okay, and that tournament.
Quincy.
Did they?
Oh, who are the last four people?
Yeah, who's
four
remaining?
players?
And then if you know what decks they use, that's cool information too.
Yes, Acrotar, Arlic J, Exaline, and Bounce.
I put my money on Acrotar winning it.
Well, Acrotar is in the winners bracket, the only person in the winners bracket right now, so he is the easiest path to
Wait, he's in the
number one.
Which is he? He's in like the. I looked at the bracket recently. Isn't he like he's actually in the grand final? He's waiting to see who wins the loser bracket.
Yes, yes, he is.
Yeah, I think he will win though. But yeah, I think he will win it though. Yeah.
Yeah, Acrotar is a Blue Rush player. Big surprise.
Because his nickname is Blue in chat. That explains it.
Exaline is playing a Speed Healer-esque Red Blue Rush. And I don't know about Arlic J.
It's something though.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
He's only dropped one game, I think.
Who has only dropped one game? The bro, whatever his name is.
I'm sorry, he dropped 2 games. He lost.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Still.
Well, it's the first tournament, so that is exciting.
Yeah.
And
it's awesome.
It's not
like
the first tournament. I won a tournament with David Bowie in the finals, actually.
Which tournament was that?
It was some
Whoa,
kind of,
whoa, whoa! What is this dirt? What is this?
In
What?
alpha, so it's not really a tournament. Then it's just like, hey, you wanna play a game?
But there was like 8 players. In
Yeah,
the
see,
tournament.
so not really a tournament then. It
Well, I
was
did
just,
say.
it was just like the
I
8
respect
people
your win,
playing the
Ralph.
game, playing a few games, and being like, let's call this a tournament, eh? And
It's a blitz tournament.
yeah,
I
Blitz
did do a
tournament.
blue water rush, you know. So no, it wasn't a tournament. Fine.
Yeah,
'Cause-
so my official place in this tournament was 7th/8th. It's ambiguous whether I was 7th or 8th, but
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice. That's
yeah.
good.
it ends up being like that.
So wait, so blue
Do we wanna
rush seems to be
transition?
the competitive deck right now still.
yes.
Um,
Oh
Yeah.
god, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I play blue yellow, which I guess is
I mean,
also kind of
if you want to know which color is the best flavor right now, you just look at Kesa, what he's playing. Because usually he'll be playing that color. Yeah.
Actually,
No,
usually
no,
I
I've
will be playing.
played
this
like
deck.
2 colors this entire time. I've played blue when I started because that's like the easiest to do early, so I had the most cards for that. And then I switched to green when green was like all the
Best,
hype.
yeah.
And then recently I was just like, you know, green is kind of
Not-
hard to have fun with now, so I'm gonna switch back to blue.
It's good
That's
though.
all you need in life.
It's all you need in life, green and blue. But so
Do we wanna-
did the tournament start in on its did it start in time? Like, did it start when it was supposed to start?
Yes, yes.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
It's
And that was
really
like 3 p.m. Central European time, wasn't it?
I don't know what it translates to. It was 9 a.m. Eastern.
I guess someone in chat can
US
tell
time.
me if it was 3 p.m. Because if it was, it's running close to 7 hours long, and I think it will be 8 hours until it's done, without a problem. Meaning it will be done by like 1.5 hours from now if we're lucky. But it depends on how many games they have left, though. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
the
is.
tournament's awesome. It's so cool. Like,
How many players did participate total? Do we know?
28.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 20 something.
So here,
28, I'm pretty sure.
so let's start the discussion here.
28, yes.
I've hosted, I've done the mistake and host like an 11-hour long tournament. That was fun. But I've also hosted a lot of digital trading card game tournaments, and I did want to run the double elimination format in a tournament, which seemed so fun with 64 players. Yeah, it took like 11 hours to finish that one, and in that game we had each game was shorter than in Faeria. So I was looking at this, I was like, oh gee, if he gets like 32 players in this game, that would mean like like 8 hours, and it's getting close to it, and it's cool. It's really good, but that means he really needs to or the people organizing needs to think about, okay, let's when do we want to start it? So when does it end for those people that are participating? I think 8 hours is in my opinion, the longest you want to run a tournament on the same day. I know me and Case have discussed this the other day, and you could run maybe tournaments over 2 days, and that brings then you can do really interesting, you can do group play, you can do really interesting formats. I do not think double elimination is really good when it comes to keeping the tournament down in time, especially considering, I think without a problem, now with having a whole week until maybe the next tournament, they'll probably get 64 players. That means a whole lot of more time if they keep this format, which I don't think they will now that they have tried it out. I think they'll go to single elimination, but most people,
Yeah, Josuke has a lot of experience running tournaments, so I think I trust him to make the appropriate decision regarding.
I'm not
periods.
questioning whether he has experience or not. I'm just discussing the ways of hosting tournaments.
We should shout out, for Josuke.
Oh, definitely.
He's
yeah,
done a
what
great
he's
job,
doing
and,
is phenomenal. I already
should all
sent him a
thank
private
him.
message, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. For someone that enjoys the game and really enjoys playing it, to come on the computer and have games to watch basically all day, because most of the people that play a lot will stream it. It's exciting. I get to watch someone play competitive decks. I get to see what other people have put in, thinking it's competitive, whether it is or not. But it's I really like it. It's the same thing with League for me. When I love to play League, I watched LCS all the time. I didn't really care to watch personal people stream. I loved watching the real matches with commentators and everything. And I think that's the next step with this tournament is we'll have commentators, we'll have people talking, we'll have, you know, all this kind of stuff. And with that, it directly ties into the council, because then on the council you can have a winner. You can bring a winner in. We can talk about his deck, why this worked, why this didn't work, what was your hardest match. Like it's awesome. Like the amount of content for this game just exploded because there's a million things you can do community wise, and it's just like I was so excited watching the games today. Like I was just like, yes, this is so cool.
Yeah. Now we just need an
spectator
observer.
mode.
Yeah, spectator, and then we just it will be really fun.
First, we need a standalone client. I don't think we can do spectator mode on the web browser, though. That would be weird.
Sounds difficult.
Spectate mode is really complicated. I think as long as people can stream, key members can stream, I think we'll get most of what we can.
Oh yeah, it's easy. Actually, the way we did it with the other card game was that we had the. We didn't stream anything before playoff, but when we did the playoff, we streamed people's games by having them join us on Skype, sharing their screen on Skype, and just muting their microphones, and there we go. Like we could have two people commentating. We just had like a group call. The player shared his screen. Me and another guy would be like, discussing his plays, and for the sake of ghosting, we had like a graphical thing, not showing his hand to the viewers.
Awesome, I love that.
So it's really easy to do. Like they could have done it this time. I mean, it could have been done. Like it can be done. It works really well. Like, but then obviously the players in the playoff needs to have Skype and be somewhat willing to do it. But that usually wasn't a problem. I do think we ended up having like a final in one of the tournaments where no of the users had Skype, and we were like, really? Seriously? Like, install it. And they did. They actually did. Like, we're like, you have just fucking install it. And they're like, okay. So they did. So it ended up good. But
yeah, just like you just said in chat, that's exactly what he's planning to do for the grand finals tonight. So that's awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
Sounds good. Then you highlight that and you put that on as a video and you put it on YouTube and you're like,
it's awesome. Like, it's so exciting.
I think tournaments are great for solidifying the metagame and expanding it, because all these players rarely, maybe sometimes meet each other on ladder, but when they all come together in the tournament doing their best thing, and they simultaneously look at each other, the metagame, I think, starts developing even faster than normally on the ladder it does.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because people will spend like the week leading up to what will happen is that since you require them to submit a deck list. Oh, by the way, is there a deck list publicly available for this tournament, or is that just like secret?
Joseki was planning to publish the like top players deck lists, I think, at the end. But with their permission, obviously.
Why did you have to submit a deck list then if you don't publish it publicly?
Because, well, I mean, like in a standard tournament format, you're supposed to submit a deck list that you cannot change once you go into the deck, and you have to play the first game with that set deck list that you played, and then you can switch cards in your side deck for game 2 and 3.
Is that how they did it this time?
Yes.
Really? So how? Oh, so you had a side deck in this one?
Yes,
Yeah,
sideboard.
Can someone explain how this tournament ran then? Like I didn't know that. Like I didn't know they ran side decks. I'm not used to that format.
They were all best of 3s with side decks.
But what is it like? Okay, I my only experience is digital card games, and I'm not talking Magic.
So you can switch any number of cards out of your deck with the cards in your side deck for the next 2 games, but only from that set pool of 10 cards that you have chosen before.
Yeah, don't you have to play the first game with your original deck, and then after that you can add?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So it's like you see what your opponent has, and then you're like, okay, I need to add these things to help with that strategy. But at the same time, your opponent can be like, okay, I'm going to take out those core strategies and switch it out. So
for example, really cool. My sideboard was running. I ran 3 Mossbringers, 3 Rude Scapegraces, and 2 Land Renewals and 2 Sandstorm Dragons. Which I was really sad because I didn't play any red structure players, so I didn't get to break out the Sandstorm Dragons in even a single game. Which was really just unfortunate.
You couldn't bring justice to all of us non-red structure players.
Is side deck something that is like a standard in every card game? Is that that's the only way to go? Why isn't it in more digital card games though?
I think it was in the Scrolls tournament.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
but
think it's
but
a
it's
tournament
not.
thing and not an inside a game thing, because most games are built off a game of one, and there's really no tournament mode. But and so I think that's why it's not in games and it's like an outside program thing.
It's good for tournaments. There's no reason to have it outside of tournaments, in my opinion.
Alright, okay. Can a tournament run without it? Like it's...
Yeah, of course. But
it's
more.
not.
Yeah, it's more competitive this way. It's like
Yeah, it's less gimmicky. In a best of
Because
one,
I think I
obviously, a
discussed
sideboard
this on the
isn't really needed
forums
necessarily,
somewhere.
but
I'm not.
I mean,
so
the
good on
idea is to try and reduce RNG as much as possible to make it so pure skill will win the tournament, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore, like, if you encounter a deck that, like, the way that your deck is currently built counters yours, without a side deck, you would just have absolutely no chance. And it brings a really interesting metagame element with what cards you switch in and what cards you know they're gonna switch in, so you can like switch in cards to counter their cards, and it's very
Did
interesting.
someone?
It sounds to me, as a noob though, I'm the noob here. I love being it. And as a noob, it sounds to me that who's like, again, like this is my second game with cards. It sounds to me like it's because I'm obviously not really good at building a deck without a sideboard, like playing the regular game, right? And I'm just like, okay, so now I have a deck that I might use in a tournament. Now I have to like figure out like what other cards to have in this side deck thing that I can like swap out between games. And to me, it would be overwhelming. Obviously, that's why I'm never gonna win a tournament. But I'm just like it to me it would be. It sounds a little bit like it would scare away a lot of the lesser skilled players to actually participate.
I disagree.
I don't think
I
so.
would not
You don't
agree.
have to
I think
use
it's-
it.
I think you usually would know what you need. If you're established enough to even win one game in the tournament, you should know actually what you are gonna need.
Okay.
And there are certain cards
generally-
in card games. There are certain cards in card games that are like specifically denoted as essentially sideboard cards. They're not good in all matchups, and there's no reason you would run it in your deck unless you like presume on the ladder that you're gonna run into like a large number of those decks. Like for example, Typhoon in a blue deck.
Yeah.
Is really, really useful. Or Sturdy Shell. Sturdy Shell is the perfect example.
Okay.
Sturdy Shell is a card that is amazing in the blue mirror because it's an aquatic creature that their aquatic creatures cannot contest. So essentially, if you play it as your harvester, and build down to contest them, there is no way that they're going to be able to destroy it. Another perfect example is like Sandstorm Dragon or Land Renewal. These are cards that are absolutely useless against a player who is not going to be run structures, but are very, very strong against structure players. Oh, and the other perfect example is Triton Raider.
Situational cards are just very, very good in sideboards, and I mean, it cards you usually don't put in your deck, but they can be really, really good against certain types of decks.
it's like I kind of see it as like you have a gun. And let's say you have an M4. You have an M4. Your side deck would be different scopes. If your enemy's really far away, you slap on a nice big, 3 to 9. If you're close quarters, you take off the 3 to 9. You put on your holographic. It's not that you're changing the gun. You're not changing your deck necessarily, though a lot of times that is what happens. You change strategies, but it's more like it lets your gun do different things. If that makes sense.
I would
Yeah,
only expect that analogy to come from an American, though. You know, you have a gun.
But
Say an
I am actually
M4.
Quite impressed.
I'm like,
I love guns. What can I say?
Well, actually, it should have came from me, I guess. Well, from Israel, so I
really?
don't know.
Really? Is it okay? Well, let's
Well,
not get there.
We all go to the army, so
Okay. Well, you don't have to go to the army in the United States to get a gun. You just go to the bank, open an
the
account,
grocery.
or the grocery store. Yeah.
We get a gun.
You go to the store
Kmart.
to get Cheetos, an M16, and about 20 rounds.
Because
20
that's
cases of rounds, not 20 rounds.
oh, cases. Okay, because I was getting 20 rounds is all you need if you're
I'm
good.
thinking boxes. Like I'm thinking 20 rounds. Like 20 rounds is.
You just
Wait, did anyone play a structured deck in the tournament?
Yeah. Was there
Yes.
any, Quincy?
Yes,
Who was
there
it?
were.
Yes.
I believe Snowtoad because that's like all he plays.
How well did he do?
It's swag.
He did pretty well. He got far.
Did
So I
Swag
wasn't
play?
in the tournament.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
That sucks. I would
Swag,
really
let
want
us-
to see him play a structured
So
deck in the tournament.
And there were some games that went like obnoxiously long. Like Saracen and I were waiting for like 2.5 hours for our games.
double elimination, dude, and yeah.
Well, they just like they spent like an hour on each match. It was
Wait, what? No,
No,
you cannot
no,
even do
you
that.
didn't.
You can't even do that.
No,
can
I mean
spend-
an hour on each game, rather. And yes, you can.
Okay. Well, okay. So here's the thing
Oh
about.
no, because there's this new timer thing that when
Yes,
a timer
yep.
runs out.
Oh yeah, shit. That sucks.
Precisely. Yep.
Well, let's wait. Let me just add that as a topic to discuss later. Timer. There we go. Anyway, about that though, like to limit the amount of time that someone waits in a playoff tree, especially with double elimination, you should probably make it so that the organizer is like, okay, now you guys play, and then like once that round is over, you could say like that bracket, like that round, you have them like, okay, you need to wait for these games to finish, and then like, okay, now you play, because then you just at least lower the average amount of time you wait between games, instead of having like that, like, oh, we're so far ahead now, we're gonna have to wait for these guys to catch up, and it's gonna take 2.5 hours. Might be good though if you want dinner, but it's definitely it's a problem when you have a best of 3 double elimination, especially. But if you have a playoff tree, it always happens though if you just let it run. But it's also easier for the organizer to just let it run though. Like you're just like go, play. So it's always that's a downside, but it's.
Let's move on to the next subject.
Well, I was curious
Oh,
to
wait.
talk about what you guys thought about the scheduled time of the tournament, like, and your opinion about like when to host tournaments that take, let's say, a tournament takes 8 hours. Like, when should it
Saturday.
start? Saturday.
Saturday for sure.
Which is what it's planned. It's going to be Saturday,
Yeah.
alternating times between early in the morning for US and late for US. So basically, times that are more convenient for Europeans and times that are more convenient for people on the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, I totally
And
agree.
plus,
Yeah, if you're running
it's a
an
fun thing.
11-hour
It's not
tournament, there's always someone who's gonna be pulling an all-nighter if he's having a good
Yeah.
streak.
Yep, precisely.
Isn't that-
Hard to do.
Don't you come into it with that knowledge that this could last a while?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
absolutely.
obviously, but
Yeah.
with that knowledge, you know, it shouldn't be like, oh, if I'm doing great, I'm gonna be here until sunrise. You know,
Yeah.
but that's why it's good that they're gonna alternate. Then that sounds like the perfect plan, I think.
And lots of people drop out for time reasons. It's not really like a big
Yeah.
deal. They just you know, some player is happy because they get a bye.
Yeah, and it's
fine.
fun. I mean, it's not like we're getting paid to play Faeria competitively. So it's like, you know, if you
But
drop
that
out a couple
should
times, like,
never-
it's okay.
In my opinion, be an argument like, oh, you're not getting paid, so like, I mean, people can still take it very competitively, especially with prices. I mean, the prices were good. Like, I think the prices were really good.
Wait, there are prizes?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
obviously.
you
I
don't have
think
the-
if you're going into the tournament, you should be ready for all circumstances. Like,
Exactly.
if it turns out you can't, then you know that's unfortunate. But
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
but still, I mean, if I'm. Yes, but the organizer should obviously think about the time. I was just curious your opinion about the time. I think it started. I think we know it started 3 p.m. I think 3 p.m. is great for Europeans. I could even see it start a little bit earlier if it's just going to be focused on Europeans. But I know 3 p.m. was actually the time we started our tournaments that was supposed to be European friendly, just because it would allow Americans who wanted to play to wake up a little bit early and participate. So that was
But I
was
mean,
good for
there's
that
also-
point.
It's it's also like the first day. Like, I'm sure if it turns out we have 64 people, or they get if they get 64 people, I'm sure that they'll be like, okay, well, we'll split it up these days. Hey, are you available to play your matches on Friday? Yes. Okay, good. Now we have 15 players playing on whatever day, and then you move on to the next day, and then the next day plays the other 15, and then now you have 30, so you're halfway done and stuff like that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that is just a little way harder to organize though. Like splitting up a tournament, like at least in that way. Like, can you play
when
your
it's small
games
like
on another
this,
day?
When it's small like
Um,
this, I think it's okay. But obviously, if it gets bigger, it will require more.
I
Well,
think
it's
I
big,
think
they
you'll
should do it
see
for a
at
few days.
least 32 players participating each week in these tournaments. Is what I expect, at least. And yeah, that is like at least. I don't
talked
think.
about it. It's gonna be way more.
I
think
don't-
they should actually
yeah.
make top 16 be the best of 3, or remove the second elimination. Because I had a tournament once in my life that I won, and by the time I got to the finals, I actually was wishing that I lost so that I could
Yeah.
go to sleep.
Yeah.
You could just say, "Oh no, I misclicked 18 times. Darn."
Yeah, but yeah, I think the way that I don't know anything about Magic, but some of the people that were coming from Magic in the other digital card game was that was hosting like a whole series of tournaments leading up to a big invitational with like super big prizes, where they were doing Swiss rounds. And then cut like a top 16 to a playoff, and the Swiss rounds were all played best out of 1, and then they did a top 16 playoff. So that meant that each Swiss round were limited to half an hour in that game, and in Faeria I would probably be limited to 40 minutes to be like, oh, that would be one game. Yeah, after 5 rounds, then you know exactly how long it's gonna run, and you know that then you just cut it, and you're like, okay, top 16, boom, best of 3 playoff, and then you can have. It doesn't matter how many people you get participating in the tournament. Like if you have 256 people, you'll still have a top 16 after 5 rounds of Swiss. So that is good.
Eventually, they will have to do like groups and.
Yeah.
And you know, then like,
I don't think it will be a problem.
It's a long way until we get there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the 28 people, the setup was fine. I mean, obviously it's running long, but I think the people that are playing in it would be playing 8 hours anyway, just in Faeria. So I think it's okay.
I think 8 hours is like the perfect amount of time. It is a full-time job day, but it's a good like that is I think is like the perfect amount of time for a tournament to last. So. If it ends up around 8 hours, it's definitely a success in my opinion. It's really good, and I think they shouldn't do double elimination though if they get like more than 32 players, because of that. But I think I don't know. I guess Jusiki has all the insights about how this one went when it's done, and he'll.
Yeah, I don't really think we need to discuss it. I think it'll be fine.
No, I thought it was an interesting topic since we had a tournament.
We're grinding water right now.
Oh yeah. Let's move on. Tournament's awesome.
Try to get that hydrogen. Come on, hydrogen.
Well, let's just do the let's do the timer. What do you guys think about the new timer with the sudden death mode or whatever it's called?
Didn't we talk about it less?
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Did we?
Martin. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't we say we were gonna like just see how it plays
the best
out?
suggestion would probably be just make it 1 damage on the first turn, then 2 damage, then 3 damage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Jesus,
That
my
was
memory.
the best suggestion for everyone.
Didn't you have a hangover, say?
I did. Have a very bad hangover.
Yeah, so
That
we
was
can skip.
my suggestion.
We can skip this one.
Yep.
We can skip that one. Okay, my bad. Achievements. Well, 90k reached, guys. 94k reached on
Nice.
Kickstarter.
And $8.
That's more. We have more than 94.
Yeah,
'cause
we
that
know
doesn't
there's some
include
PayPal. Yeah.
Do we have 100
Yeah.
then? Did we get more cards?
Where's the
have
dev
to
when
have.
we need the dev? Where's the
I
dev?
don't know.
We need to
They
know.
should've-
Stop lurking and show yourself.
I wish
Yeah,
they could have
if-
extended the Kickstarter.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
I
Right?
really wanted the 2v2.
we were getting like we got at least 300 more backers in like 2 days. Like it was
Yeah,
it was
was insane.
snowballing. It's just so unfortunate the timing.
But my credit card failed, so I dropped out.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah,
But you have 7 days to fix it though.
I
So,
have to,
wait,
I'm
Martin,
just
how
on
much-
PayPal.
how
My
much
credit
did you
card
get?
doesn't work.
Oh, okay, because you do have 7 days to fix the Kickstarter one if you wanted to, but okay.
Okay, Martin doesn't know exactly how much on PayPal.
Okay. So I don't know. I guess they will publish an official number
Obviously.
in a few days. I guess.
Yeah. But also it's not like they closed the PayPal. People can still pledge through PayPal, I think.
PayPal will be
Yeah.
happening for a while longer, yes.
So that is still running, and I think they told us last time that they're not closing it. Like people are gonna be able to buy into the game
Yeah, that's awesome.
for the
Yes.
future now. So they can still gain money and gain money and gain money and gain money, which is good. Because what I'm hoping, because Martin is watching. Hey Martin, could you please have an upgrade option? Because I want to upgrade. When I get money though, like next month or something, I want to upgrade my pledge to more. So if that's possible,
It
that
would
would
be
be
hard to do
awesome.
with PayPal actually, because it's like
Yeah,
But you
well,
can send more money, and then they will just write it in the.
I know other games have done it. They've had the upgrade option.
It's not like there are like 20,000 people pledging. I mean, it should be fine.
It's just 2,000 something, right?
Yeah, it should be fine manually.
It's just, but it's but I don't think it's that hard really. I think they can do it, and I think. Oh, actually, we'll set up another shop after Kickstarter. He says. Oh, cool.
Cool. Awesome.
And probably with a lot of more fluffy stuff. That would be
Lovely.
awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
Next
What's
topic.
next? Do we
Well.
want to talk about Quincy's deck now, since that was kind of.
Oh
back
yeah,
to
definitely. Let's do
tournament
that.
stuff?
Where did he put it?
I have the link.
I linked it.
Put it. Just put the link in.
Put it brand new.
I'm I'm opening
And
it. I'm
Just
op-
show it on the stream as well.
I'm going to. I'm just gonna save the picture first. As I'm gonna save it as Quincy Deck. Let's see here.
But yeah, so while you're doing that, so Quincy, so your deck is unique in the aspect that it's a dual color, but it's a fairly successful dual color, unless I'm wrong,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a dual color.
which is awesome. So like,
Oh, nice.
tell us about the deck. Like, why? I mean, after people can see it, they can see the different colors. But,
We're
like,
covering up
what have you
Joyful.
done, and why does it work so well? Like, what?
What do you
how
mean you're gonna cover up
so
Joyful?
well?
It is.
Wait, is this like totally dual color? Like half of the cards on
Yes,
green, half of...
green yellow. Green yellow.
That's very nice. Okay, so
Maybe
Let's
people can
see.
see it. Okay.
Let's see about
Shorten
the deck.
it. We don't need to see the creature structure event. That's not as important.
Well, I'm gonna go to the toilet. Nobody sees me anyway.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fixing it. Where's cropping? Cropping. Bottom.
Let's just drop the picture on the chat so people can see it for themselves.
I
Yeah,
have a
someone-
new
so,
overlay that let you show stuff on screen.
There we go.
It lowers all our cards and everything. It's nice, but I didn't have that.
After my after the patch 2 patches ago,
Yeah.
when they nerfed my playstyle of green into the ground, I started exploring other viable alternatives. I was planning to either go a green-red split or a green-yellow split because I still have an affinity for green. So I started playing around with what cards and what potential synergies there would be there. The most obvious one was Tiki Weathercock and charge units.
It's just good
Yes.
with everything.
So that was the basis of the deck. Was I wanted to play around with like hit and run tactics with Weathercock and charge units, and obviously I wanted to play the Phalanxes, the new in my business because it's insane.
Phalanxes, why? It sounds
Strike back
pretty average to me.
2/3 strike back is
It's a-
really good.
Yeah, 5 gold, 2/3 strike back 1.
Especially
very,
in
very
green,
strong.
because you need your Fae, so you can just be like, oh, I have 5 actions. I can get a 2/3 with strike. I mean, it's just like, it's awesome. It's amazing.
wait, no Tiki song. Where is the Tiki song?
I am not running Tiki Song right now because of the new buff to 2 gold. If I want to get the +1 damage out of it, many times I will have to build an extra forest for it. Because this deck is, I mean, as a split deck, it's not like I'm going to have it all over the map. Many times I just have the bare minimum unless I absolutely need to create a forest for a creature in a certain position, or a desert, obviously. So with Tiki Song, it would basically just be like a movement spell. And if you're looking at it from the perspective of a movement spell, in unbearable words is just better. Period. Because it is always preferable to move them to you than to go to them.
Yeah, but with charge units, isn't like Tiki song better?
Yeah. It's amusing, but as you can see,
But he has the Shaitan Metamorphosis too, which is
Yeah,
a
it's
buff.
not worth it, because if he's not placing down a ton of forest, it's not guaranteed he can shift onto a forest if he's being aggressive with yellow.
Shaitan is
So it's
better.
a movement, and you're paying
Well-
just for the movement.
I guess he
Right?
runs 2 Tiki Weathercock, so it's
Yep.
Yeah.
it's fine instead.
Furion Explorer is because this deck has no land creation potential whatsoever. It is an incredibly solid harvester. If you count the action point for the land that you save, it is a 3 action point harvester. And in addition to this, if you are getting rushed, it is invaluable. I cannot stress that enough. Being able to get 1 extra land against a blue or a red rush is just incredibly important. It's-
What about the why 2 silent windmills? I mean, usually you will want 3 for better economy, or just don't run it.
The
my
silent
opinion.
windmill was because I used to run on my traders, which I ended up taking out because this deck is not aggressive enough in the early game to really make use of them. So there's no guarantee that I will be fighting on their lands, and as such, I wanted some other economy boost in the deck.
So it's not really rushing then, is it?
No, it's a
No,
mid-game aggro deck.
Yeah.
Interesting. When I first looked at it, it looked pretty rushy to me.
Yeah, like Manta, Worm,
So,
Assassin.
Isn't that an option though? Like if you get a good yellow hand, you can rush, and then your green allows you to play defensively, securing your position on the board. And then, so if your rush fails, then oh well, I still have a bunch of defense. And if it succeeds, it's like, well, great.
So if I draw the Mantas or the Raging Words early, this allows me to build defensively to get all the Faeria I need, as like while aggressing their Harvesters with flying units. Especially if I can get out an early Weathercock, there's no way they can escape any of those flying units. Yeah. They will be zooming in and out. They will be hitting you wherever you are on the map. They'll just be wreaking havoc across my opponent's board.
I see a flaw,
I also wanted to comment on something else. So I see, you have green. So obviously a ghost at 3 Fae is really expensive. That's a lot of Fae. But I'm just talking for information. But isn't this okay in this kind of deck, because you're really not spending more than 2 Fae on any card? Most of the cards are just 1.
My total
so the 3
Faeria
Fae
count
is easier to spend.
The total Faeria count is 36 with
extremely
the windmills.
low.
So that is a very low cost.
It's kind of low.
Yeah, Ghost is incredibly efficient for 3 Faeria.
Yeah,
it is
especially if you can play it.
One of the staples of green, without a doubt. So I basically took the 2 largest and strongest beatdown units of green, which are Giant Arborea and Ghost of Arianor, and just slammed them in the deck. And they are like the real heavy hitters of the deck.
Why do you use Tiki Pathfinder and not like Tiki Savage or some other creature?
Tiki Pathfinder is for the Conquest, which is highly, highly important, especially when you're playing a mid-game deck. There is a high chance that you will be cornered on land. You will be locked in, and this lets me break out of any sort of land lock whatsoever. And not to mention just the raw power of Conquest. And Tiki Pathfinder is not only a good Shaitan Metamorphosis target, but it has an absurdly long aggression range, because it gets that extra action for the movement.
Plus it's harvest. It's early if you can get
it.
Yep,
and it is a harvester as well.
It does both, yeah.
Well, you're not running any Tiki Savage, so it's a really good creature in my opinion.
Yeah, Tiki Savage is a very strong creature, yes. 1, I don't have room for it, and 2, with it still only having 2 HP, it is a very fragile creature. And with the general lack of serious fighting units, and when I say serious, I mean fighting units with staying power, Phalanx and Ghost and Arborea. Putting more units in that would just get blown up immediately is not in my best interest. I used to run Grim Devils in this deck, but I ended up taking it out because
What'd you trade in for the Grims?
I made a lot of changes, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was before I was running Silent Windmill and before I was running Theory and Explorers. I used to be running things like Keldrin Emissary. I think that's the right one. The Conquest one, the 2/3 for 5 gold. Now I'm toying with the idea of putting in Keldrin Envoys, the 2/3 for 4 gold 1 Faeria, because that unit is very, very powerful, and with flying, especially early, without being able to create any land for early engagements, being able to attack a unit with 2 units at once while you're on a narrow land bridge is huge.
Yeah.
That's actually an interesting thought about the flying unit, that you can actually attack with 2 at once without creating land. Never thought about it that way.
It's really, really important, yes.
Yeah, and there's no, I forgot the name, the 4/3. The worm, what's his name? The desert worm?
Desert worm, yes. 6/1, 4/3.
Yeah. So you're not running. It's a really good
why
creature.
not desert worm?
It is a very strong creature. I don't doubt that at all. But with only 3 HP, it's a glass cannon.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're going to be playing this against blue or yellow, they have ways to deal with that in 1 turn.
If it was still 5 gold 1 Faeria, I would be running it, absolutely. Yeah. But that 1 extra gold, it hurts. Yeah, more beefy guys. That's what I'm thinking. I need more beef in the deck. Obviously, it's a work in progress. You will be continually refining the deck as long as you're playing it. And it's really difficult to refine because it's such a flexible deck. I can go in so many directions with it.
Yeah.
You should definitely add Leviathan.
Yeah. Get all the colors.
Well, I see a flaw though.
Yes.
You're running 41 cards, not 40.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, like, you won't be drawing the cards you need.
It's actually not as big a deal in this game as it is in other games to be running above 40 cards, just because you can draw multiple cards per turn. It's not like a card advantage type game, essentially, like Scrolls is.
Yeah, the difference.
That was a joke, though.
Like
that was
No,
a
but
joke,
it's
though, because
legitimate.
people been like trolling me so much since I started playing this game. Like, 43 cards, you fucking noob. Like, I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, it's.
I think especially in green, I almost feel like with the current state of green, you need to have more than 40. Like I don't know. That just this might just be my opinion, but I think with green it almost defaults to a higher card count. But I mean, obviously the difference between 40 to 41 is like negligible, and since all the cards are pretty much usable in his hand,
it's not even 1%.
Can't use it. I think it's
around 0.04%.
Yeah,
the mulligan.
Yeah.
But it's like, but at the same time, like even if you had 45, let's say he upped it to 45, as long as all the cards are something he could use and they're not like, oh, I have this and I can't use this until like 20 turns. Even at that point, it's still okay to have a higher card count.
And,
like,
it
all depends on your strategy and how good the deck is built.
It depends on your ratios. If you have, if you go up to like 44 cards, then you want to be running at least 10 harvesters just to have a higher chance of drawing them in your first hand.
Yeah.
And additionally, the higher you go, because of the limited amount of combat tricks that exist in this game, the higher number of cards that you get, the lower chance you will have of drawing the correct combat trick that you need to apply to a certain situation. Is my problem. When the card pool expands, I think it will be more viable to run more cards. But as of now, I think like 43, 44 is the highest, and that's kind of pushing it.
But especially if you
I
have a
don't
deck
feel
that
that
goes
running
through
any
cards
more than
too.
like 42 is. I don't know. I mean,
What you're
always
saying,
run
Great.
40. I just every time I lose a game and I notice that I need just one more gold or just that next card, if I had it in my hand instead of the card I already have, would have won me the game. It just I'm going crazy. Like I'm perfectionist in
Generally, the reason that that you would run more than 40 cards, Cordain, is because when you're testing a new deck, there are a lot of different options. So my opinion on, and I mean, I got this from Joseki, on testing a new card is if you think it is viable in the deck, you want to play 3 of it immediately to see how it applies to different situations, and then you can cut down afterwards. So when you're like looking at a bunch of different viable options, your deck will be expanded beyond the 40 card limit.
Yeah, that's
you want
fine.
to get you want to get the best data.
Because I have
If you're
a
just testing, it's fine.
legit question though. Because you said that you started out this deck because you wanted to use Weathercock, right? Like you said, you wanted to do tricks with it, and
Well, I just wanted to make a green-yellow or green-red split, but like that was the most obvious synergy that popped out to me.
And so why is it 2 instead of 3 then? Like
Because 2 is the correct amount of Weathercocks, because after you get the first one and you play it, every single other one after that is a dead draw.
Yeah.
GreatOldOne just left.
Yeah, he said
so
he was right back.
there's not a significantly large amount of like it's not a significant percentage lower chance of drawing a Weathercock, but it's as far as deck space goes, 2 is all that's necessary.
Yeah, I guess you're not relying on drawing it though either, because it's like what,
exactly.
like the randomness of a 41. Like you have 2 of it. Like you can be so unlucky and have those 2 in the bottom 20, and you're like, oh, you're never gonna get it. So.
Which is exactly why you don't see that many charge creatures in my deck, because I'm not relying on that synergy.
Yeah, yeah.
So you started constructing the deck from this synergy, but you discovered something cool and moved away.
Like originally, I was running 3 Mantas, 3 Worms. I was thinking about like the Emerald Dragon synergy, obviously, even though it's barely playable now. I was running like Meditations. I was running a bunch of different stuff that I ended up cutting.
So,
like for example, the Amai Traders, which it's a really interesting card that I've considered putting back in, because there's more synergy with Tiki Weathercock, right? With a Tiki Weathercock and a My Trader, if there are 2 of an opponent's lands open, I can make 2 gold every turn with it.
Yeah.
But how do you get to the opponent's land? Usually they defend it, right?
Yes.
Isn't your deck relying on them to build towards you?
No.
No. Well, because it's flexible, but I'm saying like if you had that strategy, you're building the deck to defend against that or rush if they don't. But either way.
Yeah, I tested with rushing early, and even with the low Faeria count that I have, you still want to generally build down towards your 2 Faeria spawns.
Yeah.
But the way that I generally do it is if they're running like I see that they're playing red, I will stop at the first Faeria spawn and just have my collector collect Faeria there, which because of the low cost, depending on the cards that I have, I can immediately start building up towards them and try to control their Faeria spawns. Put pressure on their harvesters. Yes.
Yeah, because you with that low Faeria cost, you don't need the constant stream of Faeria from 2 spawns.
Yeah.
You just if you steal one once in a while from their Faeria spawn, you're still gonna be fine.
But see, the beauty of that is that because he doesn't need to, he's not relying on that second phase spawn, which allows him to be aggressive on. Let's say he's being landed towards his second natural. If he is, I'm sorry, I'm just repeating myself. So he's being landed in. He has that first phase spot, which allows him to play aggressively and with good plays to get the natural second. Whereas a deck that requires the second may not be able to put aggression down because they require the second. So it allows him to almost at least I'm assuming it allows him to turtle on his first, play aggressive on the second. If he wins that, he gets more Fae, which allows him to continue his fight. And if he doesn't win that, he can still hold on to what he has. So it's not like
obviously having 2 Faeria spawns is ideal.
Yeah.
So you want to push out and get that second Faeria spawn sooner or later, so that cards like Ghost of Arianor become more viable. But when you are locked into just 1 spawn, there are many, many things you can do. But the thing about only being on 1 Faeria spawn is cards like a My Business become much, much riskier to use. Because if you draw cards that require more Faeria, then you're not going to be able to utilize them when you're spending the Faeria for stuff like a My Business.
Yeah.
That being said, a My Business is like my favorite card in this deck. I have played 3 Arborias 3 turns in a row with no other economy, with just a My Business.
Oh.
I also love
yellow
that when I play them,
version
yes.
yellow
It
version
feels like the old Tiki
yellow
song, doesn't it?
Yeah, but better.
but better.
Yep, because it gives 3 gold instead of 2 actions.
Huh, yeah, 1 more, actually.
Yeah, and the other Tiki song had other split effects where you could use it to draw extra times if you had a ton of extra Faeria, but generally with a green deck that is being greedy, if you have the extra Faeria to spend anyways, you could be playing greedier cards other than Tiki Song. So the main use of Tiki Song was to be able to slam out 2 6 gold units in a row.
I think I know what you're missing. You're missing 3 shamans. You got to go for the hyper greed. And that's in reference to Cubis because he was playing like a hilarious green greed deck, and it was amazing to watch. It was.
He wanted to play it in the tournament today.
Oh, he didn't. Oh man.
Yeah, he woke up late.
Oh, but he was streaming it, and it was hilarious to watch. Because if he got going, it was just like, oh, I'm gonna play 3 Aborias in 1 turn. It's just like, what? It's like, what do you do against that? It's crazy.
That's awesome. So I'm also a little bit assuming Quincy's here because he's a green player, and I know Casey wanted to talk with a green player, right?
Well, one thing I do want to caution before we get off the topic of my deck is if you're a new player, this is not a deck for you to try. This is a very difficult
No,
deck.
yes, this is the deck to come on, guys, play it. I want to win. Play it. Play it.
Even more so than a normal monocolor deck, any misplay in this deck will just lose you the game, flat out.
Yeah, it looks like a deck that requires a lot of skill.
Yeah,
a lot of meta knowledge as well.
Yeah, well, with split decks, you really have to know where and when to place your lands. Even with how good at the game I am, there are many times where I will end up losing the game because I will just forget to place an extra forest the turn before to go up to 3 for the correct cards that I need, or forget to save 1 extra gold in the turn before, so I won't have the right amount to play a land, play the colored land that I need, and then play the creature that I want.
But I think that's the case. I mean, obviously it's different with different decks, but usually when people I'm gonna copy this top player or this good player's deck that he's been so successful with, it will take you quite a few games to figure out how to play it and what to do, because you're I have these cards. Wait, how did he use them? Because obviously the guy building a very successful deck usually also has a like a plan of how to use each
Yes.
card, and it's not like I'm just gonna copy that and do it. Like I copied Swag Beetle's structure deck down to like 2 cards, and because I didn't have the cards, and like. At first I was like, how is he successful with this shit, right? And then after like 3-4 games, I mean, it didn't take me that long because I played
You don't have Swag's talk.
No, but I didn't because the structure-ish deck that I was playing way back was like having more creatures and stuff, but it did like similar things. But I'm like after a while I started winning because I was like, oh, I see now. Like it took a while to just figure out like how to place this shit.
Weren't the cards you were missing Figures of Prosperity? That's like a pretty key part of the deck.
I know, right? But I started winning like 4 out of 5 after like losing 5. So like eventually I started figuring it out, but it wasn't as effective without the figures. Yeah, I was missing a figure.
With regards to like certain decks, this is a deck that has as in like a lower skill barrier. You have to be up to like a very certain level in order to play this deck successfully. Other decks are not like that. Even if you misplay heavily with like many, for example, mono green decks, you can still win because you have big creatures.
Yeah, green is so relieving.
Well, at high level, green is probably the hardest in my opinion. Well, other than yellow, but at low level when people really don't know how to deal with large creatures, they're very, very forgiving. But yeah, I just wanted to make the distinction between a deck with a high skill ceiling, which is the large majority of decks, as opposed to a low skill barrier for playability.
The nice thing is that it's not filled with 18 legendaries, so it's fairly easy to find the cards, but they're not. It's harder to use them.
I didn't even look at that until you said it.
I don't have any legendaries.
2 rares. It's 2 rares. And everything else is.
Escape Grace. Is it really like crucial in the deck? I don't think so. Is it?
No.
No, you can just play without it, and
it's invaluable against Rush.
Against what?
A Rush.
Huh.
It's
a
meat
shield. It's a meat shield.
And it's because I know the comments. Because my first thought is, well, there's no youthful duelist. Clearly, we need to have a youthful duelist in every deck. But like, is the difference between the 2 gold meat shield and a 5 gold strike back, is that a huge deal? Like,
yes.
I know it is, but I'm tell me why.
Tell me why.
Because every single action point that you have matters tremendously when you're playing against a Rush deck, and 5 gold is just a lot of gold to spend for a 2/2. Even if it takes down one of their creatures with it, especially against Blue Rush, like it's gonna be traded with like a Lunar Moki or something. Yeah, or a Moki Fellow. Yeah. Something that is not a good trade for you. And when you're in that kind of position, you have to be making efficient trades.
Yeah, I don't even like Youthful Duelist that much. Youthful Duelist is like, it's fine, but 5 gold is so much. It's insane. I usually don't run any creature that costs more than 4 gold in my deck.
Yeah, the Youthful Duelist has kind of fallen out with all the other costs, like decreases and whatnot.
Yeah, in a blue deck. I mean.
Oh yeah, blue deck. Yeah.
But yeah, specifically with the Scapegrace, like it's 2 gold, like 2 gold. Like in let's say you spend all your gold, you don't draw a card, you don't land. If you're in that type of situation, you will have 8 action points. Well, not really. It's 6 action points, but 8 gold if you spend it all in gold. You can play 2 Scapegraces and still have enough to play like a core creature for 4. So it's like you can put out a lot of units that way. Whereas with a duelist, it's like I play this 1 card, it'll be neutralized by an opposite card across the field, or just reduce it down to 1, and now you're back 5 gold. Now you can't play anything. So it's just like, well, what do I do now? Well, you have to wait for the next turn. And even then, you only have 3 gold left, which is so bad.
And Scapegrace is like absurdly efficient. It is, I would say, the most efficient card in the game. I mean, 2 gold for a 1/3, it's insane. Like,
but I feel like it's so balanced though. Like I like that it's such a good card because it doesn't do anything else.
It's definitely not overpowered.
Yeah,
like, it's fine.
Yeah, the fact that it can't collect Faeria is like a really, really huge detriment for it.
Definitely.
Because I know
even
people
the
are like,
chaos
it's so efficient and like, oh, but it's like, yes, but there needs to be some cards that are used across the board a lot, and they need to be fine. And Scapegrace is one of those, and it's perfectly fine. Like, I love that card. I feel like if there's any changes to it, it just like completely just ruins it almost.
in before
Yes,
Scapegrace combo deck with curse.
Maybe he doesn't need a curse.
I feel like the curse is so negligible. Like
yeah, it doesn't really matter unless you're doing a one shot the.
It does matter actually. Like the damage adds up. Yes.
Well, if anything, it forces your opponent to deal with it, and that's energy it could use dealing with other creatures. So it's not that the card itself is good; it just forces your opponent to use resources on Scapegrace instead of something else. But it's so negligible; it's not like they have to dedicate an entire Fire Flap just to deal with it. Like it's like, oh, you just have a couple things hit it twice, and it's fine. Like it's fine. I just love that card.
That being said, against blue, doing any sort of damage before you actually have control of the board is really dangerous. Which is why that's why I absolutely hate the 1 damage on Eradrum Phalanx. Like, Phalanx is the most optimal opening I can have against the blue rush, because, you know, yellow 2/3 with strike back 1 is, like, very, very good against rush. The second best being Therian Explorer, obviously, for the extra land. But because I do 1 damage to their orb, suddenly all of their Kappa of Serenities are not only, like, they might as well cost 3 gold, because it draws 2 cards for them. Like, it's... Yeah.
Okay, guys.
It's awful.
It's been an hour. And let's just have a 2-3 minute break, because I really need to pee, though. That Red Bull is going straight through me.
Did we finish the whole topic on the deck, right?
I feel we did. I feel we were going into other things.
But it's good. It one day. It's really cool.
Yeah, you definitely should. You definitely should.
I think it's my style of deck, the one that takes a lot of creativity and just skill to play. I like decks like that.
Yeah, it's a really fair deck. There's no like gimmicks in it. You have to back it with really solid decision making and like intelligent play.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Quincy, for sharing your insight into the deck you've been playing.
Yeah,
that was awesome. That was awesome.
We're gonna take a 2-3 minute break, and when we get back, we'll see what topics we do. I do want to discuss like green in its current state of the meta now that we have Quincy, who's a big-time green player. I would like also to hear the opinions from my fellow council members of the new cards they added, as well as some other things. Well, the 3 new cards: the Haunted House, the Stone Elemental, and the MoonWell, right?
Yeah.
So, we're...
Can they hear us on the break? Or do we talk?
Yeah, they will be able to hear you, because I'm going to play a track, so they'll hear you. So
I'm just going to go put my
just
stuff
mute
down.
your microphones or whatever if you want to sing or whatever. Alright, I'm putting it on break, and we'll be right back. And we are back with a special announcement. Let's see here. 30 minutes. I'm gonna start it soon. Okay, so apparently the tournament is being held back because of us.
Finals.
I don't even know why, but
the finals. It's so exciting. I'm
the
so
finals.
excited.
Like, okay,
I want to watch it so bad.
Because Casey asked Joseki, like, hey, I want to watch the finals. You better not start them without me.
Whoa, that did not happen.
That is definitely what happened.
JoyfulRogue. Okay, so
Oh my
this is what
God.
happened. He's no longer he's left, but this is what happened. So he's been abusing Yaks on a daily basis, and they finally grouped together, and now they're
Assassinated him.
having their way with him
They're
off
having
camera. So he won't be here till next week.
Yeah, I know they want to stream it, and it's really nice. We're gonna try and cut it short. We're gonna do 30 more minutes, and we're gonna be done by that.
Let's talk about one more topic.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm setting the clock. The clock is ticking now. We have 30 minutes. That is 30 minutes shorter than usual, so it's cool. Let's. Okay. The new cards then. The new cards. The Stone Elemental. I was gonna say Emerald Dragon. The Haunted House and the MoonWell. None of which I have seen yet. Actually, been trying to get them in the game, but.
Oh, I've seen Stone a lot.
Really? Yeah, because
The
it's
other
lower
two
rarity.
are
It's easier to get. It's easier to get. So Stone Elemental then. When it hits a creature, it stuns it, so it don't get energy next turn.
Do we have a picture to show it or anything?
I don't have a picture.
Okay, that's good. That's okay.
Picture
It's a really annoying card.
It's so annoying. Oh,
I
'cause
haven't
it's
played
like as
against
green, I'm like going against it, and then I'm like, okay, I have a Pathfinder. You know, obviously he's gonna stun it. It's okay. I can last like at least 4 turns with it. And I'm like, okay, I'll put my Arborea down. So then he stuns the Arborea and keeps hitting the and then so the Pathfinder can't deal any damage because it has Protect 1.
Oh, it has
so I'm
Protect
like,
1
okay, so
also.
I need a third creature just to start to deal damage to this thing. So it's really frustrating. But I
How
don't
big
think
is it? It's a
problem.
1/2. It's a 1/2, right?
Yes.
1/2 Protect 1 with the stun.
Yeah, the Protect one. Okay.
The stun is against certain plays. That
don't-
stun is like brutal.
You don't want it to hit you first. It's
Yeah.
it's not what you want. Okay, I haven't seen it. I really wanna see it on my side of things. I don't wanna face
But-
it.
Red players play Unbearable Words and Goblin Mentors, so
They just put it far away and they drag you into it.
Yep, good. So good luck not getting hit by it is all I can say.
Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh man. Oh. Yeah. That is an interesting card. Anyone watching this has had any fun experience? Please tell us in chat. That would be awesome. MoonWell though is interesting though for blue, isn't it? Like you blue player there, Kasev. Like, what rarity is it? Is it legendary?
The elemental, isn't it rare?
No. The MoonWell.
I have no idea. I've never
MoonWell
seen
is rare, I believe.
It's rare. Okay. And
I
it
think so.
spawns Faeria at night in
Yep.
all pools. That's an interesting card, isn't it? Like, what are your
It's
opinions about it?
Weird.
It's weird. Yeah. It does the
I
same thing
wouldn't
as the
put it
new
in-
dragon ability.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in just a normal blue deck,
Yep.
but I guess it can have its uses maybe in a
A mid-game
the
blue, maybe.
Sphere Void, I don't know, like a night deck. I'm
The
not
strength
sure.
of blue as it is right now is like utilizing the Aquatic Collector and your land creation to
Mhm.
starve your opponent of Faeria. So making more Faeria spawn at their one Cyclone is
Yeah,
a little
it's-
counterproductive.
I
yeah,
feel like it's you're behind. I need to grab a lot of Fae real quick and execute a play in 2 turns. Because after 2 turns, your opponent has probably a better advantage against you. Because if your point is to starve out your opponent, then they probably need the Fae, assuming their deck needs the Fae. So if you start to give it to them, they may not be able to execute a play fast, like within the next 2 turns. But by turn 3, they should be if you don't have an answer. Sorry, if you don't use that card effectively within 2 turns, I feel like it's a bad thing, and it helps your opponent more. Since most decks require more Fae than blue, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what their intention was with creating the card, what the like obvious synergy would be, because like blue already has cards like greedy cards like Silken Luden to gather more Faeria.
Yeah.
So I don't exactly know what they wanted to do with that card. It's a weird card. I don't think it really belongs in blue, to be honest. At least not with the current card pool that exists.
It feels weird.
Yeah. So, Haunted House then.
Same kind of deal. It's like
I
it's
like
cool
that.
and
I
green,
want to get. That's
but-
the card I want. Like out of the three, I just like I'm drooling. Like I need that card. Like I need 3 of those instantly.
I don't think it's runnable.
Yeah.
Let's say what it does.
Oh yeah. Haunted House gives every creature on the board who's in a forest, it gives them haunt, which means that when they attack a creature, the damage they deal to that creature's controller's orb, which you know it's
and it
interesting.
costs 4 Faeria, right?
Oh, it's a 4
Faeria.
Faeria cost.
It's four.
Yeah,
Faeria, which
I guess the
is
cost
the
might be
opposite.
making it bad.
It's really expensive. It's insane.
Really?
I feel like
really
it's an
expensive.
end game for green. Like I'm let's say I have a green that has a couple haunt. His orb is now down to 10. I have a dragon. I have might and guts in my hand, and I have this other extremely expensive fey cost. I feel like it's kind of like, okay, so I'm gonna use this combo to ultra kill his orb, you know. But I feel like it doesn't get executed very well. I don't know how I feel about it. It's like weird because I don't want to give my opponent. Like, if I'm being rushed in, completely worthless. And since most greens are being rushed, I don't want to put down a forest and then play that card, and then he'll be like, okay, now I'm dealing haunt damage in your forest. Like, it's just really weird.
And in the green mirror, it is absolutely atrocious.
Oh my god. It does nothing.
But I guess it is like, it's a little bit like Heart of the Wood, where you kind of, it's like more like an event, right? You will drop it when you need to use it the same turn.
It's too expensive.
And yeah, it's expensive, but if you're using it, that's how you're gonna use. You're not gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna drop this as my first building just to show you. Like, no, you don't want to do that, because then you're giving it to your opponent. Like, you're gonna drop it when you're like, okay, I'm gonna drop it now and have all this haunt damage happen because my creatures are ready to do it.
It's an immensely greedy card, and the
It's
thing
really
about greedy
expensive.
cards is like if you're already in like powerful control of the game, then you know playing this card might make you win flat out. But
Yeah.
you know, there's
I don't really know any green decks that can actually save 4 Faeria just for fun, you know?
Yep.
Just for
It
fun.
doesn't happen.
Same problem with Dragon, in my opinion. Like, saving up 4 Faeria is huge, and if they just, like,
Yeah.
kill your Dragon immediately after you play it with, like, unbearable words or something, then you just
Take it
lose the
back.
game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you know, Ghost of Faeria, no, lots of, you know, good green cards that use Faeria.
So let's transition into the green, green in the current meta. Quincy, what are your thoughts about green right now? Like, how do you feel about it?
I don't like it. I understand the playstyle that they intended to make with it, as in, like, a defensive land creation. But a lot of the synergies are just a little too thin for my taste. You don't have enough forest creation to make like Heart of the Wood super viable. You don't really have like land creation other than, you know, Shrine of Blossom, which is only good if you draw it early game, and Forest Worm, which can no longer be used as a harvester, and they even remove the 1 attack off of it, so it can't fight in any circumstances whatsoever. It's just it's not where it needs to be. As they add more cards and buff and nerf and whatnot, the only way that you can, like, it will be more viable, but the only way that you can play green as of right now, in my opinion, is very, very greedy.
Yeah.
Running cards like Nature's Growth and Might and Guts, where if you are rushed early in the game and you're denied Faeria, then you can just never play those cards, and you just lose. Straight up.
Yeah.
What would you change, like, to make
Well,
it?
Forest Worm back to gold cost at least.
Yes, I wanted Forest Worm to be 4 gold, so that you could not play it on your first turn and make an offensive land, and then make another land, like, beyond that. Which is, like, a huge and
sense.
important change. But as far as making green more viable against Rush, it's kind of a tricky topic, because, like, when you think about the way that the devs intend green to play, its the hardest matchup is supposed to be Rush, right? It's supposed to be a mid to late game deck, where if you can, like, barely hold off in the beginning, you'll be able to win.
But see, then it's like I like. Sorry, I'm not interrupting, but I'm interrupting. But like, if that's the intent, it's weak to rush, so it's weak against blue. It has a very good weakness against yellow. A good yellow is rushing. So then, what does it have against red? So green is the color that doesn't do much.
Green loses to red because red
exactly.
Red
it's like
plays
it's just
greedier than green and is better at defending against a rush than green does.
Yeah.
I mean, then
and
green
that's why
can't,
like
as of right now.
there was a lot of good ideas being thrown around about how to change green, but aren't they doing a lot of like soonish within the next like 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Aren't they going to do a lot of buffs to green, and that these previous nerfs were just to test something before they actually buff it?
Yeah. Basically, the way that as I've had it explained to me by Joseki, like through and partially through the devs, is that with regards to their balancing, it's not intended to be like full balancing right now. It's more experiments in the beta. They will over nerf things to see how a deck will how a color will function without that card. Without the card being like incredibly strong, to give them more data for balance in the future. From this perspective, their tests are going great. We found that green is not very good without like land creation, which is very necessary against rush. But it's tricky because if you give them too much land creation, then rush is just absolutely useless against them, because all of like, for example, blue's haste units, blue's units that have to be next to each other for support, if you have enough like defensive land built up, then they will not be able to reinforce their army and like call in creatures to support their other units, because they'll like be summoned too far back from the aggression position. And like their haste units become useless because they can no longer get their lands close enough to play the unit and hit your important unit with their haste unit. Yeah. So it's a really tricky topic.
And I think at the same time they hit. Okay, so green is supposed to be fat creatures, right? That are kind of hard to deal with, which makes it good against rush. Rush has to have specific things to deal with a big creature. So they took away green's land creation, which, okay, I can see that they're trying to go with this design. It causes problems, but, that's okay. But then they hit a lot of the green creatures with HP nerfs and ability nerfs. And then it's like, well, now we have nothing. Before, we at least had some overpowered creatures that would be good against rush if it be too strong. But it's like they did both at the same time, which I think is what really just threw green in the trash. It was just like, well, at least we don't have no overpowered cards. All our cards are underpowered, but
we'll have to wait to see what they're planning. I guess.
Yeah, and exactly. That's the other thing. It's like hard to discuss what's about to be changed. It's like, well, it's not in a good state.
But changes will happen all the time, though. So like, if we're not able to discuss what's the current, then we're not ever gonna.
Yeah, but there's a green deck in the finals, so.
Yep.
But that's
which I
thing.
was really surprised about. Like the deck that he is playing is. I don't know
who is playing the green. Wait, Akrotari is against. Who is Akrotari against?
Arlic J.
Okay. So hold on. Host, we have images of both their decks.
We have images.
We can show both of them and talk about them. Well, not necessarily talk about them, but.
Which one is this though? I just want to look at the. I don't care about the blue.
Did we finish the blue? So Arlic J is the green.
Okay, I got a link to 2 blue decks. Thank you.
Oh, what the heck? Apparently, I was given. Give me 1 sec.
Opinions about Sagami's Settler being nerfed a little bit?
I don't see any reason to nerf it.
Yep. Okay. Let me just say what I think.
Less gold, then it would be okay.
Since I haven't said that much, I'm just gonna say that about Sagami's Settler. I understand the nerf, and I can agree with it. I've been playing it a bit lately, and I think with the nerf they should have also lowered the cost like 1 gold. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a problem with it.
For that is acceptable, considering that yellow has a 2/3 with strike back 1, which is basically the same thing except the range, and the Sagami currently costs a gold and a Fey extra, and I don't know if that's an acceptable comparison, but I think 1 gold, 1 Fey for ranged isn't that big a deal. I think that's acceptable.
So here's the green final deck, all of a sudden.
Which is really weird, by the way. Just like commenting on this deck, I have no idea how he managed to make it into the grand finals with this. This deck is immensely greedy. Like, if we could see his Faeria account right now, it is very, very high.
Well, you see there's a giant Arborea at the bottom
there. 3 giant Arboreas, 2 living willows, 3 poltergeists, 3 heart of the woods, 2 nature's growths. Like, these are all high Faeria cost cards.
I think it's because the power is a low creature, and then a lot of strike back, and then buffs to kill whatever's being rushed at him. And then if he can secure against the rush, he greeds his way to victory. So as long as he holds on against the rush, he'll be fine. But has he played against a solid blue rush deck yet?
I'm not sure.
He's going to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Has he beaten it before, and this is a repeat, or is this like, well, geez.
Oh, Joseki says he'll be streaming the grand finals with commentary. Will it be you, Joseki, or do you have a co-commentator, do you have it all set up? Will it look good? Tell me yes.
Yeah, he does have a special.
I'm gonna be so disappointed if it's bad quality. Nah, it's cool. I'm definitely gonna be watching it.
Looking at his
Go
opponents
green.
that he's had, I don't see any prominent strong blue players in his matches. That being said, because of how many people were playing blue, only his 37 Faeria cost. Yeah, I could see that. But despite the fact of it only being 37 Faeria cost, the large totals of the cards, as in playing a Poltergeist, playing a Living Willow, you need 3 Faeria at once to play these cards.
But you get 3 Faeria. You get that. Even if you're being landed in, it's one I mean, you're putting all your resources into one card, but you will have the 3. And the Poltergeist with the Protect makes it pretty strong. And you could even try and go for a Living Willow. The 7 HP on a Living Willow is really hard to deal with, but that's if he draws it. It's like, this is so weird. I'm so excited to watch this match.
That being said, I love the Tro Miners.
Right?
That's
one of the things I noticed.
Tro Miner is one of the most underrated cards in the game. It is so good. It's a harvester, it's economy, and it only takes 1 mountain, so it's perfectly splashable. In addition,
it's basically Bonga.
It has 1 attack, so even if they aggress on you, you can use it as a fighter, even though it's a little wimpy guy. Every red player uses it, yeah, but
But I'm seeing a lot of strike back. The Sentinel strike back, Oakling Protect, the Poltergeist Protect, the Living Willow just sheer amount of HP. So I'm visualizing how it will be good against a rush. Those are a large amount of cards that can do well, and even the Pathfinder.
The Tree Folk and the if you can manage to get 4 forests, Oakling is very good against a rush.
Yeah,
the Kirkus Archer. The Kirkus Archers are the biggest thing that I want to point out. Kirkus Archer is very good against rush if you land correctly and have good positioning.
Do you place it behind? You place it a tile away from your orb. You place it on the face spawn, but behind it, so that way you can launch over. Or do you play it in front of the face spawn, 3 squares away from your orb?
It really depends.
Okay.
But basically, you want it because the downside of that card is it only has 2 HP.
Yes. Yeah.
So as long as you can keep it in a protected position whenever night comes around, it's generally not going to die. Especially if you have another unit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You could definitely use Archer as a harvester, and then by the time you place harvester, you can also place assuming you draw well, you can place something in front of it, which then forces to him, if he moves in, he can't instantly get to the Archer, which is guaranteed 2 damage, which is really the whole point of it. And then whatever card is in front, hopefully the meat shield lasts at least 1 turn. So that's quite a few units you can either bring down to 1 to then play Sentinel so they can't attack it, or that's really interesting.
It should be noted, Archer early game plus Tiki Song is very strong because of you don't have the need to play a land to get to your opponent's creature. So it has an aggression range that is longer than most people realize without the land requirements.
Tiki Song or Unbearable Worlds is amazing with Archers.
Do you think?
I'm surprised he's not running Weathercock though, because Weathercock is in my opinion, the best struck. Also, Overgrown Tower. That's another thing I want to mention. He's not running Overgrown Tower, which is
we haven't
insane.
watched his sideboard though, but yeah.
Yeah, he does have a sideboard. That was posted as well.
But I looked at the sideboard. He doesn't have Weathercocks in there. Weathercock is.
Yeah, they're really expensive.
But still,
really expensive.
he has Tiki Song, he has Unbearable Words, he has at least 4 cards that can move something around. So
and one land anywhere, which is kind of funny.
Maybe that is all he needs,
Well, he has 2 land renewals in his sideboard.
Yeah, well, obviously, but it's just one. Just don't put any.
Oh no, I meant maybe all he needs is the 4 the Unbearable Words, the Tiki Songs to move things around enough to get ahead or get a good position. Maybe Take
one
away
card
the
in a deck is so weird. That I
Putting just
never
one
understand.
what?
Just one copy of a card.
Oh, land renewal.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
It's
I feel
kind
like-
of weird.
Well, since he's against a blue rush, he really doesn't need the land renew. But
Okay, you wanna look at the blue?
yeah, we need to show the blue. I think that'd be
Well,
cool.
I think we should be-
It's
it's
pretty
pretty-
standard.
Yeah, but
you
we
can
should
show 'em
be.
side by side.
Yeah, but we should be fair to, I think, show
Yeah,
both
yeah.
and
Well,
discuss.
because we
both.
want to see what he's up against.
Yeah, I don't feel like
But I'm
just
really
talking
excited
about
to see this match because like this will be very interesting. It'll be really fast and over after turn 5, or it'll be like really interesting at least one of the games.
Well, it's best out of 3, isn't it? I think
Yeah.
so.
Or is it
think
best of 5 for the final?
Oh, that should not. No.
It's 2 best of 3s.
Two best. Okay.
Oh, they're doing it
if-
that way. Oh, okay. Mhm.
Yep.
So
So
let's see the blue, and then we can.
Arlic J, if Arlic J wins the first best of 3, he resets the bracket and has to win another best of 3 to win the whole tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, this is not a standard blue. This is definitely.
Really? It's
Does this include his sideboard? Is that why?
No, this is just the
40
normal
cards.
deck.
It's exactly
Yeah.
a standard blue.
Yep.
I've never really seen people
The
run
only-
Spring and lunar in this kind of.
Yeah, Spring. The only real deviation that he has is Spring Mochi.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, all of these
I've seen
cards
people
are-
run Spring Mochi. It's kind of good actually,
Yeah.
especially
It
with
is good.
weapon racks and.
It's good
the
against
elf
blue.
students.
Specifically, it's good against blue. Because blue's like, okay, I'm guaranteed to kill because this has 3 HP and I can buff and do a play to deal that 1 extra damage. But with spring, it's like, well, crap, now it has 4. So okay, so I need 2. Yeah, I really like spring against blue, but
Well, any good constructed blue deck that is played by a good player will actually be, it can get really far in tournaments. So.
is it because he took out a Triton, an unbearable, so he has like a bunch of 2s, which allows him to add in 2 springs? Right.
He plays like 2 copies of some cards. It's really standard. It's fine. It's like it's
An
very
interesting
similar to
thing
the
to
deck.
note, though, is he's only running 7 aquatics,
Yeah, YOLO.
which is lower than most blue players tend to like. I
Yeah, I
tend to see
usually
around
run
8 to 9.
Yeah, I usually run 8. I guess 7 is a bit low, but it's a risk reward kind of.
Mhm.
I mean, if you get an aquatic creature after the start of the game, it's a dead card most of the
Yeah,
time. So,
if he draws well, it's a lot stronger in the mid because you have more options. But if you add the more harvesters, it allows you to have a better start. But I think he can still play pretty well, even if he doesn't get an aquatic after a mulligan and a redraw, because he can still try and draw it. And the odds of drawing an aquatic are still pretty high, right? So it'd be pretty unlucky if he didn't get aquatic after 2 draws. Or would that really completely set blue down to
It's
lose?
kind of bad, but
Yeah.
it's playable. I mean, you can delay your aquatic in 1 turn if you draw like 2 cards, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It
'cause-
can decide the game.
Yep.
So, is anybody starting with an advantage in the playoff? Like, I'm not used to the
Yes.
having 2 best of 3s.
Yep, Akrotar only has to win 1 best of 3, and Arlic J has to win 2 to win.
Ah, okay, that's the
Because
difference.
Arlic J
Second
was
to first.
in the losers bracket.
Yeah, but I've seen different ways of doing that before. Like,
Yep.
if it's a best out of 5, like the guy in the winner bracket would be ahead 1 game and things like that. But I like this style. It seems good. It can be a really long series then. That's gonna be awesome.
Alright.
Kasov is so exciting. He's like, holy
I'm
mother.
excited for this. Like, think about it. Like, it's a really interesting green deck that may or may not do well. So that's an interesting. Like, I wonder if he can actually do this against a blue rush. And then you have like a standard blue rush, which is like the typical thing you see. So it's like I really like this. I like that it's not a blue rush versus blue rush. Like, I really like that a green is in there. awesome.
That being, blue mirrors are really interesting though. Like really,
But
really
I've
interesting.
seen it so many times.
A
To me, it's
mirror
not
would be
interesting,
so
'cause it's like,
boring,
I've seen
honestly.
it so many
Holy shit.
times.
Any mirror would be boring as hell, in my opinion. Like, it's so much more fun to watch 2
I
different
will say
colors.
a blue mirror is much more interesting than watching other mirrors. I think blue mirrors are a lot more technical and play based.
I wish there were 2 wombo combos mirrored in the finals. Like, we would be
That
like,
would
oh,
be
they're drawing
fun.
cards. I wonder what they're going for.
I don't know about that.
Total RNG. Who will get it first?
Should we wrap up the show?
Yep.
Yeah,
we
we're
wrap
going
up.
to. Jesus, calm it down. We have 6 minutes and 34 seconds to go. But yeah, we can definitely. I feel we're not getting any further with this.
A red mirror match, yes, please. Let's watch
Structure versus structure. Who will build the best?
I'm pretty sure all of the games that took like over an hour were all red mirrors. Like, I'm fairly certain.
We need stats. We need stats on that stuff. Oh man, we did tournaments in that other game, and we had this one guy who just did stats on the fly during the whole. He's like, so out of the top 16, this percentage play these type of cards, and these percentages. Like, we were like, really? Okay. Like, it was just cool. Like, we need
Why
some
do you think
stat.
you have a
nerd.
numpad on your keyboard? It's made to enter in quick numbers.
Yeah, but okay.
Enter.
It's like
Have
so
stat.
easy. Okay, good. Awesome. Well, I guess everybody's really getting ready to go watch that game.
Yes.
It's on Joseki. Like, there won't be any other stream up anyway, I think. It will be so easy to find.
I'll link it in chat.
He will link it in chat like 10 times.
Oh wait, we should sign out first and then link it.
Oh
We
yeah,
should do
yeah,
it.
yeah. We're signing out. First of all, I have gotten all the emails. Thanks everybody who's been following, who are following this channel. It's amazing. It really shows the support. Also, that we're getting like the same amount of viewers like 3 times in a row now feels like a solid proof of that you are at least somewhat interested in coming here to watch Ksev. It's really good. So, I'll leave it to KC4 to start the sign out here. Like, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitch TV /KCIV4. I'm really excited for this match. I really am excited to watch it. So my brain's kind of poop. But right now I'm trying to play blue. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get some quality ranking to my name. Get some street cred, so watch my climb of the ladder, or rather...
They're resetting it soon anyway. You're gonna have to
climbing
start
down
at the
of the ladder.
bottom. Yeah.
Now, we were at the bottom, now we're here.
There is actually, the reset's not going to be until later this month.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun when Casey's like, I'm so close to the one. Die.
Oh, the reset is this month?
There are going to, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, great old one. Where can they find you?
You can find me in streams, I guess.
Streams. As always. Lurking around.
Lurking around or just in game sometimes.
Ah. Joyful. Where can they find you? Can someone do his voice like, well, I think that...
No, they can find him in JoyfulRogue.
On JoyfulRogue, his channel, at JoyfulRogue, everywhere. Yeah, twitch.tv actually.
I can't even mimic his accent. It's so... I wish I could.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Polish. Well, Joyful is not here with us anymore. It sounds like he died, but he went to bed. He was so exhausted. But yeah, you should all go and like follow him as well for being part of this great show. And Quincy, where can people find you?
At twitch.tv/DoubleGateDavidBowie, and you'll probably see me like any moment now when I will probably be helping commentate the finals.
But you will commentate it on Joseki's channel though, right?
Yes, on Joseki's stream.
Yep. Awesome. I'm gonna go watch you there. We did have the 5 minutes salty corner of Ksev to do this time.
Oh, were we really gonna do that?
Just sorry, one last thing. Also, I forgot to say, I am the admin for the public Faeria raid call. We have just decided to make it absolutely public as of today, so we will be releasing the ID.
So what? It was
who wants to
semi-public
know.
before. It was semi-public before.
Well, we just didn't want too many people in there because, like, when too many people try to talk at once, it gets very, very difficult to hear anyone and for everyone to kind of get their say. But we've kind of gotten over our elitist, impulses and opening the raid call to all of you plebeians out there who want to talk to us.
That sounds cheesy. Like, well, if you want to talk to us, you can come in and kind of talk to us, scrubs.
Do we have to kiss the ring while we walk in?
Yes.
We should have... There should be a, sorority
Is there a
pledge
thread
we have
for
to
this?
take.
Is there, like, an official...
memorize.
No, but I will probably be making one. And I can post the raid call ID in the chat right now if people want to know.
Okay. Go ahead. But I should probably make a thread announcing it if it's like an official.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's always unofficial unless
it was intended to be the like official public Faeria raid call for anyone who wants to jump in and talk about the game.
But you ended up being like, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
We ended up using it like our little private Skype, but that's not how.
You can set up. It is like a dedicated server on raid call,
Yes.
so you can just set up like different rooms and stuff, and hopefully it will be a big thing. I think having an unofficial VoIP, whatever it is, where people, like, you make a thread on the forums, hopefully people will see that, and even the new players can be like, hey, you should have like a beginner room place, like where the noobs can go, and when I say noobs, I obviously just mean the new players to the game, and get like, because it's so much easier for them to be like, hey, I have a question, can like anybody help me here? I'm having 100 cards in my deck and I'm losing, like stuff like that, just to get it so much easier.
One of the specific reasons that we selected raid call for the voice program is because we don't have to pay anything, and there is default 10,000 slots in the room.
It's nice.
So as many people
raid
as
call
want
is
to join
good
can
for I mean, it's just like the best VoIP if you don't have the resource to set up a server.
But yeah,
obviously.
raid call's a great place to come in to learn, because I know like just listening to people's arguments and discussions about changes and stuff really shows insight into the cards and whatnot. So it's a really good place to come in and learn. I know if I'm there, I'll help people. If you have really dumb questions you're embarrassed to ask, I'll answer them the best I can.
Oh, you shouldn't listen to.
No, don't ever take my advice. But no, it's really good. Like, I recommend if you want to learn and you're serious and all this kind of stuff. It's just a fun place to hang out anyway. But it's really good. It's really good.
And
like, I learned a lot just by listening.
Just because of the like elitist nature that we had, we have a lot of high level players who just hang out in there. So, like to encourage more to come in. Well, everyone, obviously. But,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yep.
Awesome. And me you can find on Metagamingtv right here, whenever, wherever I go live. So if you follow, subscribe to the channel, whatever, you will get notified when we are doing anything here. And what is certain is that next Sunday, same time, same place, we'll be doing the Kappa Council episode 4 with other topics and other things to discuss. So now you should all go watch the tournament, and thank you all for watching. It is amazing to see all you guys return. Already people are going straight for the tournament, so I'll do the same, and I'll leave with that and say bye-bye.
Yep. See you guys.
See you in the tournament. Peace.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna hop into the raid call and see how they're doing the commentating. So yeah, thanks for having me on the show. It was fun.
Thanks for showing your deck, dude. That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, no problem. See you guys later.